Hi, this is Aaron Russell, head coach of your Richmond Spiders women's basketball team, and you are watching the LegacyMaker Sports Network.
LegacyMaker, the all sports network.
Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk, Season 4, Episode 11, with your hosts, Joe Dillard Jr. and Lamonte Thomas. This week's special guest, Petersburg High School Athletic Director and Coach, Mr. William Bill Lawson III.
Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk. I'm your host, Joe Dillard, bringing you back another episode of Commonwealth Sports Talk as I have my co-host, Lamonte Thomas, with me. What's up, LT?
What's going on, man?
Keep on grinding, keep on moving, man, as we bring you Season 4. We have Episode 11. We had a week off. We apologize, but we're right back at it with Coach and Athletic Director from Petersburg High School, William Bill Lawson. However you know Coach Lawson III, he's a legend. We will welcome him into Commonwealth Sports Talk. Again, this podcast is designed to spread knowledge, teach, and inform the listener and viewer about the positive advancement of Virginia athletes born or raised, and definitely born and raised. So without further ado, this is brought to you by LegacyMaker Sports. Grind and pray. Let's jump right into the interview.
Good.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good.
Appreciate your time, man.
Hey, I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. I've noticed my time in Petersburg. I've only come across you once or twice, but trust me, man, I was hunting for you, man. I always pay attention to sports legends. I'll always pay attention to basketball because that's my love. So I had started working in Petersburg a couple years back, and I was like, hey, Bob, where's Coach Lawson? Y'all need help? Y'all need help on the staff? I was on. Look, let me tell you, man, I had to jump in when I was down there because I just love it so much, and I had to give my homage to you, man.
Hey, well, look, I'm always hiding in the gym trying to get something done for the next step.
Hey, look, before we get started, you know, my man Jimmy Terry was my roommate in college and track teammate, by the way. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. My man JT.
Right. He doing a lot to help me out, for real.
That's awesome. That's awesome,
yep.
Man.
Yeah, well, he's reviving our track and cross country. You know, he's really putting in work.
That's good. That's good. But this is my co-host, Lamonte Thomas.
How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing well. Glad to have you on. You know, it's funny how we got close circles that go around. I got definitely some people that in my circle that I know you know as well. Coach Thomas.
And
his
John
son.
Thomas.
Yeah. So he actually missed being my coach by a year. When he went over there to Colonial Heights, was my last year there. So
okay.
Yeah, but I welcomed him in, you know, to the program, and he's a good guy, him and his son.
They really are.
So I do want to start off with the background of your legacy. Okay, the background of your legacy, 3 generations deep, basketball and football rooted with coaching. Take me through being young and trying to understand your place in all that, because obviously you're younger and you see older versions of you laying that path, laying that foundation. Take me through how that kind of all came to you.
Starting out, with my grandfather, I didn't really see him coaching. That he started at Virginia State like in the mid 50s.
Yep.
But I can remember being with my grandfather where we would go over there and watch practices, because actually I'm in his house now, which is right across the street from Virginia State, right by the softball fields.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to go over there a lot. We used to go watch practices back when Coach Moody, who played for my grandfather, was coaching at Virginia State. I can remember going over there because me and Coach Moody's son grew up together, Eric. Just watching practices and just meeting different people. And I was very young at that time. Didn't know a lot. And then just being with my father growing up, just being around the game all the time. When I went to Matoka High School.
Okay.
And while there, I started out following my grandfather's steps. I played golf because at the time I really didn't have a good mix with the football coach at the time at Matoka. So once he left, that's when I played football.
Hold on, but let me run that back though. Golf, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my golf set over there and I'm saying to myself, I don't think I touched the golf club till 28, probably, maybe 29.
Okay.
And so for you to have had golf in high school, that's awesome in my regard. I know it does conflict with football because they're both that fall sport, but obviously continue coach as football became an option as coach left. Yes.
It's crazy while playing golf. It was because of my best friend. Both of us should have been playing football. We were the best things coming out our association. But like I said, on that time they had a coach that just some things was said and done that I didn't really agree with as a young. Actually, as an 8th grade, and we really wasn't feeling it. And so my best friend, his grandfather was big into golf. So, we wanted to do something. So we played golf. It was crazy. We played with a professional player. You heard Larissa.
Yeah.
She was on the LPGA for years. She went to UCLA, and she's from Matoka. And now she's one of the assistant athletic directors at University of Richmond.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I had to put that down. That was a good gym there.
Yeah, for sure.
So you weren't. So I always think of things when it's, I don't want to say forced, but when the lifestyle is around you, a lot of times you either gravitate to it or sometimes they say the opposite, where you run away from it and say, I don't want to do it or whatnot. So when you got out of college, how did you decide that was your opportunity there to coach at Virginia State or to try to keep it rolling? Or how did you know that it was like, yeah, I think I'm going to check out coaching or I'm going to pursue staying in sports?
It's crazy. Actually, I was coaching before while I was in college.
Wow.
I actually I started out as assistant 9th grade coach at Petersburg High School. And I always coached my father's summer league teams. During the time, coaches couldn't coach summer league. So I did all the summer league. Actually, we played back then. Petersburg held the summer league. Coached the team, and I also went with the teams to camp. And I started coaching the young group at camp. So I started coaching 9th grade. I was the head 9th grade coach while I was in college.
Wow.
And then I actually started helping with AAU first. Back with Guy Buster with Richmond Metro.
Yes, I do. I've never met Guy. I've heard he's like a legend in my ears because I hear all about him from everybody in Central Virginia.
Yeah, all the greats from Richmond area and surrounding played for him.
Yeah, they say that's the original Metro team.
Yes. Yep.
See, that's how I know. I just never got a chance to meet him.
Yeah, and then from some of the people from Richmond Metro, broke off to do Team Richmond.
Mhm.
When Team Richmond started, once they separated. But yeah, I started just actually to go even further back. Kenny Harris and Kevin Holloman from Petersburg, they were playing with Guy, and back then, they played for my father, so I was the driver. All of us were the same age, so I would carry them to practice. Then I just started helping with the team, and I started having my own AU team under Guy, and sort of branched off to do my own thing. And then, actually, I did that for some years. Then once I became the head coach, I backed off of AAU. Ty White, that's at John Marshall.
Know all about him.
The guy.
You been on here?
Yeah, I know. I caught it. He actually, Ty's from Petersburg, played for my father. And actually, I was able to get Ty, his first coaching gig.
Yeah.
Home. And then we did AAU. I did it. Then he took over. And then now he's got the biggest AAU program in the country.
Mm.
So I'm really proud of Coach White for what he's done and grown his AAU program into.
Yeah, I remember talking to him about the similarities of him, because ultimately he didn't want to leave Petersburg, but an opportunity arises, and it's got such similar feel. You know what I mean? It's a community that you got to earn to be a part of. You don't just come in and call shots. And so he kind of said he felt the similarities, and that was something that helped him transition. But he really enjoyed his time there. And I keep thinking in my head, I said, Coach Lawson, I've had Maxwell, I've had Coach Massenberg, I've had Tytrell, we've had them all. And so Dale Harris. And so I'm like, man, I know this circle is well knit in Central Virginia, that y'all all have had y'all's hands around each other at one point in time. So how important is that, by the way? Like, how important is it to keep a good umbrella, a close knit circle of guys that you could have, because it's so hard these days to find good help?
Oh, you're so right. It's hard to find good help. But I mean, you're true to the game, you're true to each other. Me and Coach White, we talk every so often. He's doing his thing, but we always keep in contact. And Coach Massenberg, me and Coach Massenberg grew up together. We graduated the same year of high school. He was at Petersburg, I was in Matoga, but we played little league basketball against each other. So we've been knowing each other. And like I said, once you're part of the Petersburg basketball family, you're always.
Yeah. And that finding people with the same dedication to the game, what I'm saying? There's nothing like growing in that regards, professionally. And just hearing you talk about how you guys were around the game, and I assume that you've had that same type of dedication towards the game. It's a lot in common, with one another. So I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Coach, you got are you still doing your fundraiser, your celebrity all-star game? Do you have that still going on, or is it I know COVID's shut down so much, so I'm just trying to stay on the up and up and what you got going on.
Yeah, and really right now I don't have it going on. And we did that. I'm a kidney recipient.
Yep.
And so that's where all the money went to for that activity. And it was just great to have all the different guys from my father and me, Coach Height, had them come back and play. It was great seeing everybody and just having the participation, just having a fun day. But no, I haven't really planned to do another one yet. Sometimes you can't keep on hitting them with the same thing. But it's definitely good. Actually, I just came from Lee Park, where Kevin Green, one of my former players, and a couple other guys have put an outdoor league together. went out there for a few minutes to support them because a lot of my older guys are still playing, and they playing against each other. And you got teams from Hopewell, Richmond, a couple other areas. So it's good to see Petersburg bringing back some positive things in the city. And it's good to see the guys that's from the city giving back. And I mean, really doing things right. Just watching them clean up the park when it's over. And just showing that everybody still has pride in Petersburg. And that's the one thing I've always had.
Yeah.
I remember my time there, and they were painting the courts the crimson wave colors throughout the city.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me to just think about how, when you just said they're playing in leagues now, from the beginning of rebuilding and redoing all of that and taking pride into the community. How big is that for you as an athletic director? Like, I mean, go ahead, Coach.
It is good. And it's also, that's another part of the family, because Antonio Robinson leads it all, who played for my father at Petersburg. And he has his group, Team Petersburg, and they do a lot of things. They give to the needy. I've seen them feed the homeless, do a coat drive, so they do a lot of things in Petersburg also. So it's good to see people that are from Petersburg still putting Petersburg first and helping in Petersburg. And when it comes to the parks, I need all the help I can get as far as the athletes. We are getting hit right now because we don't have a strong foundation in Petersburg. We don't have some of the same resources that other areas have. So, to have people go out and do these extra things, that's why I try to support, if nothing but showing up, you know what I'm saying? Giving my support that way, or whatever I can do to try to help.
And that's big. And that's big because you know how far those things go, right? In a community like Petersburg, and really the entire Central District, right? Like you said, Hopewell, Petersburg, Matoaka, those roots run deep. All those communities back there, Hopewell, Petersburg, Matoaka, like those communities, when you guys start to show up for one another, the ball starts rolling and it ends up leading to other things like this league developing, right? And the stuff that is done in the communities transcends so much further than basketball.
Right.
We talked about 804 Coaches for Change, a few times, and the stuff that they're doing. And like you were saying, doing those community initiatives, those are the kind of things that it starts out with basketball sometimes it ends with basketball, but it's always community, right? Involved in time. And I just love how, those things always, start and end with the community, and it's beautiful.
Right.
So Coach Lawson, athletic director, what is the most intriguing sport you deal with on a day-to-day grind? And I mean intriguing, like when you thought you knew it all, here's something new with that sport. So obviously basketball can't be it. So what's
actually you're wrong.
Whoa, okay. Talk to me now.
When I first started AD, I can remember my first year. I had always helped at the football games. So I knew a lot of the outside area things that you had to crowd, the tickets, all of those other things that most people don't see.
Yeah.
But my worst day was the very first home basketball game.
Wow.
Many games I've been to, it was the basketball that I was more unknowing of everything.
I can see it.
Because now when it comes to the floor, the game, no problem.
Yeah.
Right.
The running of the tickets, making sure the lines are good, having to change, making sure the concession is straight, the locker rooms for the officials.
Did you get the cop at the front door? Because all them game day operations is serious.
Right. And I mean, it's crazy. The one person I really need to thank when it comes to me being an AD is Tammy Yerby, who directed the Parks and Recreation. I worked there for 3 years full time, but had worked there maybe 4 or 5 years before. She really guided me as far as manage events. And so she really helped me as far as organization, making sure everything's in place. But basketball was my worst first. It really was.
And you know, that's interesting. Go
It's
ahead,
funny
LT.
that because I'm gonna share a story with you that you might be able to.
You didn't go out again on us, did you?
It's going on.
Oh man. See, I knew I should have went. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up when we hear you, but I'm gonna keep going because I like to use the time wisely. So
You got me?
Oh, we got you now. As soon as I was ready, I know how it works. Go ahead, brother.
I don't know what's going on tonight, man. All right. I was saying I was gonna share my first story with the Petersburg basketball game. All right. So I actually finished my basketball career at Colonial Heights, right? But my first year I went to Clover Hill, the old Clover Hill, where I'm currently now, really in that neighborhood. So we go to Petersburg, and you know, people are telling me about, you know, the atmosphere, you know, and they're like, yo, you gotta, even in the game, it's gritty, right? Like everything from the second you step into the building is gritty. Like you gotta grind for everything. Nobody's gonna give you anything. And I'm like, man, what are y'all talking about? I played ball before. Like, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really resonate with me. So we get in there, right? And you know how like the varsity waits for the JV to play. Right. So I'm going in. We're at the JV game, and you know, we didn't really eat the right things before then and all that. And I'm getting a hot dog, right? Just got to throw something in my body because after school, never really ate anything.
Right.
Go to get a hot dog. They come back. They give me the hot dog, but they give it to me in the lunch carton with where the fries comes in. No bun, no toppings, nothing. And I'm like, what is this? Like, what's going on here?
You a visitor, bro.
Right. And they look at me like, you lucky you getting this. Like, you. And I'm like, man. And it was just one of those things where it hit me. It was just like, you know, you got to realize where you're at, you know, and what's going on and how things are run. And that all comes from the top down, right? Like, it's not like you said, it's not just the sport itself. It's not just the game. It's the venue. It's the atmosphere. It's the environment.
I told Massenberg when I was in there working at a camp at Petersburg 2 years ago, I said, what y'all think y'all Duke with this dark lighting? I said, I love it though. I said, but I could see how you can intimidate a team walking in that ain't got no business being on the court with you. And so like, I love those gyms. And then it's funny that we mentioned Tytrell earlier, because when I walked into John Marshall's gym for the first time as a head coach, half of my kids, I had to give them pep talk in halftime or in the locker room and say, hey, this is basketball. Don't pay attention to nothing else going on but what's in the lines, because you have to be on your game. And I'm telling you, man, that environment is a home cooking that everybody loves and comes to because they support that team out there no matter what. So I love it. But I got to jump back on Tammy Yerby. First of all, that lady's a mentor of mine as well. She's retiring soon, so salute to that young lady and her years she put in, those she's touched, myself included. And when it does come to event management, she is on it. Let me tell you, man, even when I was right, I felt wrong around her. And it's not in a bad demonstrative way. It's more like, how can I be better? And it's not negative. It's just like, all right, well, I got 8 of the 9 things on the list. And, you know, instead of talking about the 8, we'll discuss the 9th. Like, well, what prevented the 9th? Or you sure you don't need the 9th? Or, and it wasn't negative. So that's what I mean. It's like, you need people like that around you to motivate you, to push you, and to feel competent about what they're doing. Because when somebody teaches you, you want to feel like they're relating to you. And that's exactly what Tammy does. Miss Yerby is a people person. They say Jenny around the block. I say Tammy from around the block, because Tammy is good people's.
No, really. Like I said, she taught me so much. Just dealing with event planning, you know, and I go, I've run a lot of different events. But one, that I used a lot of things that she showed me was when I brought LeBron James' son team to Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you that was, and I still didn't get everything right, but just what she prepared me for, that was one of those type events.
Yes. Bringing him in town, everybody in the state knew about that. That's one of them things where event management would be essential, because it's bringing in such a crowd that's different from the normal perspective. So you want to be sharp on all your tools to welcome them back one day. So that's essential to running athletic director and event management.
Countrywide. That's countrywide audience right there. Or we just had LaMelo Ball come not too long before that. You know what I mean? I was there for that with Spire coming to Virginia State in the multi-purpose center. That was huge.
Right.
Yeah. Correct. Man, Virginia State has grown. You said you right across the street. When you said right across the street from the softball field, it took me back to campus days, because they built the softball field when I was on campus. And then
I got you. Right.
I come on campus to run track, and all my track teammates talking about something. You got it easy. We went to Matoka. We went to Petersburg to practice. You got it easy.
Right.
You got this brand new track. But I love it, man. I love the growth of the school. I love how the history's been passed down from your family with Virginia State. I love that you're still close to the area. And, we're just happy to have you on and doing big things in that Petersburg area, because it deserves its recognition.
Right. It's a great city. We get a lot of black marks on us because some things that most people in the media blow up more than what it is. Not saying that we're perfect. We do have our issues, but Petersburg is a great city. It really is.
I love it. So I tell you what, man, give me some jewels. One of your best coaching basketball jewels you got from your runs. I'm talking, it could be Fort Lee tournament. It could be the state title run. It could be Frank's maturation. It could be anything. Tell me something that is good for the soul and good for these coaches out here taking these tips.
It's
and
crazy.
It's life lessons, Coach. Hold on. Let me be specific, because I know you know, but others don't know, Coach. So let me put it on the mic so that it's out there. Sometimes as a coach, you do not get to coach the X's and O's. You have to coach life lessons to get them on the court.
Real rap.
I can live with a couple of X's and missing a couple of O's, as long as you stay clear of any trouble to the left.
Right.
So can you take me through any of these type of light bulb maturation? Dang, man, this is why I do it moments.
It's crazy. In my 9 years, I've been in the process for about a year or two, writing a book, talking a lot of behind the scenes things that happened with my guys and teams. I even got I've contacted a lot of them to get information. I want the truth, but it's crazy. Just yesterday, me and Frank he was in the gym, and we was just talking about some different things that happened. And I was reminding him of some different things. But one we talked about was having to teach Frank a lesson. His junior year, Frank led the state of Virginia in scoring.
Yep.
Averaging 40-some points a game.
Yep.
We were in the semifinals of the Fort Lee tournament playing Clover Hill. And probably like in the third quarter, Frank came down. Sometimes even as a coach, you get caught up in the game and sometimes watching.
Yeah.
We were winning by maybe 10, 12 points. Frank came down, and one of my kids, Edmund Maxwell, actually came side near our bench. And as Frank crossed half court, Edmund just turned around and started going the other way. So I'm hollering at him, "What are you doing?" And he gonna shoot the ball anyhow. Right? And so Frank comes down and he shoots the ball. Said, "Well, let me see." And so the next 3 times back down the floor, Frank shoots the ball. And so, everybody knew he was our scorer, but you got to get everybody else involved.
Right.
That I've always told kids that bench will teach you more than anybody. And, I was always a coach. I don't care if you're the star, whoever, you're going to learn. So
learn today.
Frank got subbed out and put him on the bench. Me and him had a few words at each other. And I'm going to have the last say so.
Yeah.
So either we're going to win with what we got or I'm going to lose. But Frank not going back in the game.
Oh.
And Frank didn't go back in the game. We ended up winning by maybe 6 or 7. Ended up being a closer game.
But the message was sent.
The message was sent, and we came back that next night in the championship to play Hopewell. And I tell you, Frank was just on a whole nother level that night. And it was no hogging. It was no, it's my team. I'm going to do what I want. It was all within.
The right basketball play.
Right. And I told him just yesterday, I said, that one thing taught you, didn't it? And we just was chit-chatting about it. He done been in so much basketball, he ain't remember everything. But, talked about that with him, because
Awesome.
Frank could have almost broke the scoring record at Dinwiddie. At Dinwiddie, he made 8 straight threes. But we had controversy with him and Kevin Green. Frank actually blacked out. Didn't realize he made 8. He got mad at Kevin before he made the 8. Kevin got a steal. We go down 3-on-1. And instead of Frank getting the ball, the defender jumped at Frank. So Kevin did the basketball play, pass to the other, layup, we go back down. Frank was upset.
Frank said he was hot, man.
No, this was before he made the 8.
Wow.
Frank came down and laid Kevin out. And Kevin, I'm talking about those are two brothers.
Yeah.
Really. They are brothers.
Only you would understand their dialogue.
Right.
Somebody 6 feet away be like,
Right. Yeah. So the next few times down, and it was a tight game. But because of that argument, we blew it out because Kevin did everything he could to give Frank the ball and made the 8. Then Dinwiddie called timeout, and that was the worst thing for us. Because by them calling timeout, Frank came back to himself, and all he could think about why he didn't get that ball on that first play.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't even realize the 8 threes he made. So
That's amazing.
I end up having to bench both of them. So Frank didn't break the record that night. Yeah.
The lessons we got to teach these young kids, man.
Yeah. But in my 9 years, I had so many great guys, and all of them listen. We had some family moments where it was some altercations or things said, but that's what happens with family.
Absolutely.
The one thing I'm really proud of, they always had each other's back against somebody else.
Yes.
They could have just got to fighting with each other, but if somebody from the other team talked about that person, he was going to step up in front of everything. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best feeling there. And see, some coaches don't have to worry about that. And so in this world that I'm familiar with as well, the lesson there, the first win is when you got kids arguing at practice all training camp, and then you go to a game and then all of them stand strong walking into a visitor's gym and they're like, I ain't mad at you today, at least for these 3 hours. For these 3 hours, we could be tight because we all we got. And so I love that concept. And when it hit, I'm like, well, then what's our argument now? So when you go back to practice, if you do, it gets resolved quicker. It's not lingering. It's just that you say what you say and now you move forward. And there's so many lessons within that quick, like, the maturation of a team building and a family environment is great. So you could teach the Franks all the way down to the ball boy, and they all feel like they didn't learn from the great coach. So
yeah.
I tell you what.
That environment, man, and that's kind of what I meant by when you step into Petersburg, you got to understand what type of context you're dealing with, right? Because everybody from there and everybody there, they were never given anything that they got, right? Everything that they got, they had to earn, and that's why they have that mentality, right? Like, I want to dominate every time, every opportunity I get, I want to dominate because I don't know when it's coming again, right? And I think that type of feel that you get in that community, you feel that when you walk in there, right? Even if you're not from there, go there, that's what you feel. You feel that that's what they're dealing with. So you're not playing against just them, you're playing against that too, right? And I think that's kind of what I meant by my story. It's like, it's a different type of feel. Like, when I played Petersburg, I had to get my best
because you've been in there. Look at you.
I'm telling you, like,
Coach
you
Lawson.
You gotta put your best foot forward, right? Like, you gotta put your best socks on, your best Under Armour shirt. You got
so excluding LT and his Colonial Heights trip, Coach, how many? It's almost like banners in Petersburg. And what I mean by banners, it's the banners of broken spirits. It's the banner of a coach coming into y'all saying, "Yeah, I knew my boys won't for each other. I knew they weren't gonna fight. They didn't bring no fight to the game." And you can have all the talent in the world. You could be talented as you want, better than that team. But when you come into a team that's united, play hard, gets after it, you subject to lose a couple. And don't be on your high horse, because you're gonna argue with your team and then left wondering what the HE double hockey sticks happened in Petersburg, Virginia. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen. So, like, I remember when I coached at Bruton, we're a little 2A school. Nobody cares about Bruton. We play in York County and 3 and 4A teams, and we're 2A. And so when you come to Bruton, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to be here." But I tell you what, you remember that you came there, and that's the whole environment that Lamont's talking about, where you remember that experience because it's worth.
Well, one thing about it in Petersburg, you always got a target on your back. I can remember father, myself, when we would go to team camp, when we were playing another tough team, nobody would go to lunch or dinner. Everybody would sit around the gym waiting, hoping that Petersburg would lose. And it's fun because the coaches are more relaxed. We probably went off more on the officials.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't get thrown out of camp. So
those are the best.
It was sort of wild, but to see how other coaches were helping to prepare. I mean, coaches would scout us during the summer, for the season.
I started to say that when you mentioned summer league earlier, but go ahead.
Yeah. Everybody wanted to beat us, and it's good to have that. And I lived it. By me being in Matoka playing football, I can remember I got my thumb got hurt the week before we were supposed to play Petersburg, and I was the center. And so they were talking about maybe having to put a cast on, so I wasn't going to be able to play. I said, "Look, I'm playing no matter what." By beating Petersburg my senior year, that was like winning a championship.
There you go.
Right? For life. You know what I mean? So I've been on the other side of it. So I know how people are about playing Petersburg, where you want to beat Petersburg more than anybody. I mean, I've seen a regular season game, somebody beat us, and they cut the nets down like it was a championship.
Yeah.
And that was back when my father was coaching.
Yeah.
Seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's because they didn't know when it was going to happen again.
Right. So, we've had a couple of down years, so everybody's really taking advantage when they can.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Like for at one time, I think we might have went maybe 5 years, not even losing a home game.
Wow.
So our crowds, like I show kids now displaying. I said this was a Tuesday night in Petersburg. I show them the video, and they'll see the crowds all the way up to the rafters.
Yep.
And especially when I had that one team with Cedarian Rains. I think Frank was just a freshman that year. The starters, Darian Raines, Javon Maxwell,
Nice.
Chris Evans, Chris
We don't-
Moore.
I don't
Dre-
want it to cut you off, Coach. I definitely don't want it to cut you off because they got that 45 time limit on there because we wanted to give our thanks on you and tell you thanks for coming out.
Definitely.
And we appreciate you, Coach.
So much for your time. We're gonna stay connected.
We're gonna have to bring
Appreciate
you back
it.
on as well too.
Definitely. I appreciate it. I do that for you.
My guy, I appreciate it. Overtime.
OT.
LT, turn your microphone up.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I was so-
Yo, you got me because I was like, man, why can't I? Man, you know, I was about to go IT in this jump.
Hey, it happens. We're human. Twice. I was like, he's talking.
Yeah, when that
Don't hear
connection,
him.
as soon as he got on, is when I started to see my connection lag, and I was like, yo, this ain't good.
Not a
But
good
see,
sign.
when it's me and you, right now, it's like crisp as ever.
Yeah, and I can imagine. You know, I don't know what to say, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. Coach Lawson is a humble guy, and we didn't like. I don't want to say when you've achieved a lot, but when you've accomplished so much, man, 40 minutes is not enough. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
he has so many gems, right? Because there's 3 generations, because he's been around for so long. You know what I mean? Like even before he was of age, like he had so many stories that we won't even know about. Like those can go on forever.
Yes. And that's an amazing accomplishment to have that. But then, no, we didn't throw the roses at him. So I'm going to throw him here in overtime and say that my man is a multi-time Central District Coach of the Year. He's a multi-time Regional Coach of the Year.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? He's got a winning percentage of over 600, 700 with his wins and losses. So like when we talk about them 9 years he put in some work too, but he was following the roots of what his predecessor, his father, his grandfather, and those mentors that he had lead him right into. So I say that that's harder to do when you're predestined or when you're told, your dad was a coach, you're going to be a coach. You ain't got no choice but to be a coach.
Name and still made his own name.
Correct. That's not easy.
That's not easy.
That's not easy at all. And it's amazing he says things like, I am across the street from Virginia State softball field. And to me, it takes me back.
Yeah.
Like everything always goes back to Virginia State for me. So, you know, I understand it's right there. I understand how I am with 1882, but any chance I get to have those memories, best time of my life.
Yeah.
Petersburg, Virginia, Matoka area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And I had to really nail home, you know, what it means to that community and what competition means to that community, right? Because like I said, it's just the epitome of what life is there. Like, and people who don't see that type of environment, they just don't know, right? They just you don't know until you're in it, right? And it's just one of those things where you gotta go hard for everything you get.
It's two type of people with that.
Mm-hmm.
Two type of people with that. You got those who both carrying diamonds. One of them is paid for it. Didn't have to do nothing besides get it ordered and put on their ring or on their finger. You got another one with a diamond. And this one knows how it was built, where it came from, the origin of it, how much it costs, its value, who picked it. And that's what you call value of your diamond, which is what every time Petersburg presents a diamond for you, it is legit. It's not a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the shout out I think I was trying to stay with. And it's funny because I didn't go play at Petersburg. You did. And so when you said it, you sounded like a visitor. So I was like, hold on, player. We got people in Petersburg watching. I was like,
No, yeah.
But it was true in the sense that they're not gonna let you come in and take from them, is what I think the ultimate message was. You got to earn that mutual respect.
I mean, I think even more than that, I think I brought it home the second time more.
Yeah.
What I was getting with that is just that it wasn't anything about how things are run there. It was more about the expectation of the people who are there and it's the mindset. That's what it is. It's the
Yeah.
mentality, right?
So it's like little New York. They're called little New York there.
Yeah, well, they have a mentality to where it's like you can't come in here and expect anything without earning it, right? And that's what I got from that, right? Even from that story, from that experience, from everything. And I told you ever since then, and it wasn't just that, it was the game as well, because we got toe up. You already know. It was everything after that, right? And every time that I competed with Petersburg, where I saw them in competition, that's what that meant. I was returned to that mentality where it was, look, if anybody's going to do anything in here, if you're from there or not, you have to earn it. And I think that was the thing that kind of stuck with me. Like, and that's why I said every time Petersburg was a week's preparation for me, right? Because it wasn't like it got to the point where I wasn't trying to win. I was trying to survive. Like that's literally what it was like. It was like, you coming in here, you better know what you're doing.
That joint opened up a whole different avenue for you with train of thought.
Bro, I would be like, I'm coming in there. If I'm coming in to play ball, I got to take at least 2 charges, get foul hard, and make sure that I don't show them that I got hurt at all.
And then they'll call a foul for you.
Yeah, but not only that, but then they will. It's funny. It's like, then you're playing their game, right? After that, then it's like they know you're here to play, right? Because other than that, they're gonna ride you. They're gonna ride you all game. It's like, you won't be worried about the foul, right? You won't be worried about this instead of worrying about what you need to worry about in terms of the game, right? And that was my thing. It's like, that's why it took so much preparation to play there, because it's like, you have to make sure you keep on a straight and narrow. You have tunnel vision, right? Because if not, you're gonna be off your game, because that's how they play.
Yeah, that's similar to how I was explaining Bruton in York County, where if we go play a York high school, and, traditionally anybody who's from York knows the word Shamlin. Shamlin plays a zone. And so you're not thinking aggressive and rough when you hear zone. You play a Grafton, but you play man, and they try to be tough, but they're technical before tough. They're that T. They're technical and fundamentally sound. And so that makes them a hard out, but it doesn't put fear going in other than the talent that they may have. And it's a branch off with Tab as well. Tab is the same thing, fundamentally sound. So when Bruton, who's gritty, as you described, who gets after it, who puts the ball on the ground and we all run and dive after it, we had that concept. So every time we went to those 3 schools, I had to tell my kids, that's not how we're going to play tonight. I get that's what we do, but we are going to show everybody that we can win every way. And when you come to the Den in Bruton, you're going to play our way. Right. And so that's why, and I even had a conversation with refs during the year. I'd be like, hey, man, I don't mind this, hand check foul here at his court, because this is how you want it and that's how they play. But remember that when you come to Rochambeau. Remember
right.
When you come to Bruton. Remember that when you come to the Den. And so I used to understand that you had to earn that. And that's what Petersburg has earned over this time. And I love that environment. Like, you can't take no half-stepping team in there, because they're going to come back out with a brand new experience.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, man, I got, just like he had stories for days, I got stories for days, just in that small amount of time.
Yeah.
Where my coach used to get kicked out of the game at Petersburg on a regular. Like, it was a regular thing, right? Because we had kids there who didn't know that environment, right? And you step into that environment, you're at a disadvantage, right? And so he would try the whole game to tell them that they're at a disadvantage, and then I would be, like I said, in a whole different mode. I mean, talking trash to the guys on the court, it was like it's a different level, right? Like it's
Yeah.
it's a different level, man.
Yeah, I completely get that. I completely get that narrative. Absolutely. But Coach Lawson is classic. And golf, man, he was playing golf since he was young. I should have asked for some golf tips. Everybody
Right.
can use golf tips,
Yeah,
man. That's a sport you never get old with.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I missed my chance, man. But I tell you what, Coach Lawson has an umbrella that kind of doesn't compare to too many in this state. I mean, we're talking, like you said, loaded up with Tytrell and John Marshall and Team Loaded. That's under his umbrella. Coach Massenberg continuing to build Petersburg back up. They had a successful 2019 campaign. They had a successful push. So with all these things that he's had his hands on, bringing LeBron's son to Richmond, doing different events, this man still sits quiet. That's the best part that I love about it. I think that's what I love about guys like that. Guys like that do what I want to do. They want to be a part of everything, but they don't have to be the show.
Right.
So I love that because you get to be in the room, but it's not about you and you don't have to make everybody else happy. You just a part of something special. And so I think that creating special events and creating special things is in his realm, and being an athletic director at Petersburg is going to bring them back full stride. I'm not even questioning it. I know it's a matter of time. They've got a great staff over there. I know a lot of those coaches and they're doing a great job. Coach Booker was on the show as well. We had her, softball coach at Petersburg. Jimmy Terry, one of my track teammates from back in the day. He is at Petersburg with the coaching and the sprints and jumps and track and field. So look, man, this man is doing it. And that's why we got to get these on here at Commonwealth Sports Talk. So LT, final cap, man, recap, anything on your end?
No, it was great, man. He's a guy for the community, and I love talking to those people, and glad he was on, and I'm hoping we have more guys like him, you know, and I'd like to see him back.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And this has been episode 11 of Commonwealth Sports Talk Season 4. Also, shout out Team Petersburg for all that great charity work you're doing. I love it. You keep going, keep your name in the, well, how about this? Keep your head down and keep grinding, because everything you're doing is getting recognition when you put in charity work. So this has been Commonwealth Sports Talk, bringing it to you. Y'all be safe. What we say we was going to say now? Y'all come back now. You hear?
Come back, man.